Hello, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. If this is the first time you are joining me, thank you so much. I will highly encourage you to please go ahead and click that subscribe button below and click the notification bell so that anytime I release new content, you'll be the first person to get the notification. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always trusting and always coming back to my channel. And thank you for sharing, liking, and commenting. You guys are amazing. Um, I'll continue to highlight this here that I offer free mentorship and coaching opportunities. So if you are new to Scrum, or maybe you have been practicing for some time and then you just wanted to kind of upskill yourself, all you need to do is to reach out to me. You can see those links up there. Connect with me. You can shoot me an email, or you can connect with me on my Instagram, or you can even connect with me on my Facebook page, and let's collaborate together and learn from each other at the same time, right? That's awesome. All right, be that as it may, today we're going to talk about something very important, especially for people that are kind of coming into Scrum and Agile project management. Perhaps you're not sure what seems to be like the hiring process or what is called the recruitment process. So today I'll be sharing with you, laying out, fleshing out, detailing all of the step-by-step information you need to know in the hiring process for a Scrum Master job position, okay? And this also could apply to any job opportunity out there, but specifically for a Scrum position. So what are the step-by-steps approach or hiring steps for a Scrum Master position? So that is what we're going to talk about today. All I'm going to ask you to sit down, tighten your seatbelt because we're about to take off. And if I do share all of these steps today, and maybe you are already practicing as a Scrum Master and I missed any of those steps in your own interview process, all you need to do is to click go to the comment section below and tell me which of those steps I missed. And then I'll be able to answer you based on your question. And if there is any of the steps I'm going to highlight today that you want me to also detail more, you're not sure about, please don't forget to put your question in the comment section and I'll be able to respond as soon as I can, okay? As always, I'm going to pull up my screen and then we can get started right away. All right, so there are basically 8 simple, concise steps when it comes to hiring a Scrum Master. There are basically 8. And then these 8 simple steps might not be in a logical order, get me correctly now. So every organization, every company, every firm, every country might have their own, unique way of reshuffling. But, you might realize that they have all of these in their, in their hiring process, but they might not be in the correct chronological order as I'm going to explain them today. The first thing that when it comes to hiring process is job description and posting. This is basically from the company, right? So an organization is looking for a Scrum Master, or they're looking for a resource person, right? And that resource person is a Scrum Master, so they have to specify the role. That is why you see them posting Agile Project Manager, Scrum Master, Agile Lead, Agile Coach. That is when it comes to the job description, and then as soon as they have highlighted the job description, then they will post it out there. Some of these opportunities are for internal employees already, right? Some of them are for external employees. So whether it is for internal or external, the first thing that happens is there must be the opportunity. There has to be the opportunity created. As soon as that opportunity is created, then it is posted out there so that people can apply via all of the different platforms like LinkedIn, like Indeed, like Workopolis, all of these different job posting platforms. That is the first thing. Now, as soon as those opportunities are made available, right, the second thing that you need to do is to, as soon as you see those opportunities, is to submit your application. Now, before you submit your application, try to at least take a perusal about what the job description is about. There are key information that they are looking for in a candidate. You might have 20 years experience, you might have 10 years experience, you might have whatever. But as soon as you don't have all of the key information in your resume, they wouldn't bother to look at your resume. Okay. So you might be like, oh, I have about 10 years experience. Yes, that is number of years. But have you considered about the job description? Job description invariably means, at least in my own opinion, that there are specific skills, there are specific requirements, either from the technical perspective or from the soft skill set or from the educational background or from the work experience. There are skills that they're looking for. And if your resume doesn't really contain those information, they will toss it to the waste bin, right? So your level of your number of years might not count if and only if your resume doesn't contain those information. So that is when you look at the job description, try to tailor your resume towards the job description, and then you submit your application. As soon as you submit your application, then they start. They always have like what they call the resume screening window. That's comprised of when they create that opportunity and when they are going to take down that job opportunity. So the job opportunity is not going to be there forever. It's going to be available for a specific number of days or weeks or months. Some jobs will tell you it's going to be closed until the perfect candidate is found. So be that as it may, just know there is an opening and closing window for that. So as soon as they collect a resume, then they'll start screening those resumes. Now, some organizations use AI, which is an artificial intelligence, to screen those resumes. Some organizations manually will screen those resumes. Now, have you ever wondered, for example, if you go to LinkedIn and then you see a job posting, look at it very specifically. You will see that it will tell you the total amount of applicants. Now, let's imagine that for a job opportunity, you have about 1,000 applicants. You think that they're going to go through all of the 1,000 applicants? Absolutely not. They might not. They might not go through all of those. They will basically have a mechanism in place to screen those resumes. So if I were you, I would try to at least be among the first 10 people that they're going to screen their resumes. Okay. So how would you do that? Tailor your resume towards the job description. Now, as soon as the second stage has been completed, then they move into the third phase. The third phase is when you get an email from the company, from the hiring team, which you can call the recruiter, will reach out to you via your email or your means of communication, either email or your text message, or they might even call you directly. Sometimes it could be very annoying when you are just in the middle of something and then you receive this call from whatever seller. Hey, sorry, we saw your resume. Are you available for a phone conversation? But some organization will just send you an email asking your availability, or they can create availability and then ask you to go there to choose a time that will work for both parties. So be that as it may, now you guys have agreed of a number of time, the particular time to have a call. So they can call you via Teams, or they can call you via normal call. And then within that time, they are going to assess you on a number of things, okay? This is not the technical part of the interview. It is called the initial communication, initial contact. The initial contact is where a recruiter, remember this recruiter might not have, detailed knowledge about Scrum. So maybe this person has written information and they'll be reading the script, right? And then they try to listen to the keywords based on the script that they already have. So keep that in mind. They are going to assess you based on your communication. How can you be able to communicate efficiently? Some people find it difficult to communicate efficiently using some sort of, you know what I mean? So be careful when you are responding to recruiters. They are not assessing you so proficiently based on the agile principle because they might not know it. I have asked a recruiter a question. He says, sorry, I can't be able to answer this, unfortunately. Maybe when you get to the stage where you can meet with the hiring manager, you can ask that question. This is simply to tell you that this person doesn't really know that. Anyways, but they're going to ask you, they are going to assess you based on some sort of criteria, maybe communication, maybe it could be skill set, maybe it could be about some basic knowledge about Scrum, and then your enthusiasm. And how would they assess your enthusiasm? Through your tone of voice, okay? Imagine when you're going to purchase something in a store. How would the salesperson, the attitude or the approach or the passion that the salesperson expresses can be an enticing or a mechanism to convince you to make that purchase. So anyway, keep that in mind. Express your enthusiasm by your tone of voice. If it is a phone call, but if it's a video call, express very polite, bright, very charming attitude in such a way that you can capture the recruiter's attention. Okay. Now the other one, number 4, is practical assessment. Now, as you can see on my screen, number 4 and number 5 sometimes can overlap. What do I mean? Sometimes number 4 can go to number 5. Sometimes number 5 can go to number 4, depending on the organization's structure, hiring structure. But let's go with what I have on my screen right now. The practical experience, the practical assessment, I mean to say, is where they're going to have some sort of simulation, okay? Some organizations can send you like a written assignment to complete, right? Some organizations are going to might ask you to be on a camera to do some exercise. There are different ways they can decide to assess you, right? They just want to see you in action, as simple as that. Remember, they're still assessing you, kind of reviewing candidates, right? As soon as you don't meet up with whatever success criteria, you're out of the game. So it's just like a relay race, okay? Imagine when you are, having that relay race. So if you don't meet up, then somebody else is going to overrun you. So if you succeed in that practical assessment, then you move into the, the main interview proper. This is where they're going to drill you, okay? They're going to really, really grill you. Sometimes it could be a combination of the hiring managers, some, members of the development team. It could be with the VP. It could be a number of people. Now, some people really get so overwhelmed when the interview process takes longer time. What do I mean? Some organizations, you go through layers of interviews and layers of interview. After meeting with the recruiter and doing the simulation and doing the written assessment, you meet with the hiring manager. After meeting with the hiring manager, you meet with maybe the product owner. After meeting with the product owner, you meet with the program manager. You meet with the vice president. You meet with the agile coach. For God's sake, how many persons are you going to meet? You know what I mean? So it could be very, very tiring, but those times are where they are trying to assess you. Remember, you're not the only one in the race. So they are trying to get the perfect or the best candidate for that position, okay? So don't lose the enthusiasm. When you are tired, take a break, right? Re-energize yourself, refresh yourself, but keep in mind, tell yourself, you know what, if they're going to choose one candidate, that you're going to be the one, okay? So after you pass through that in-person or visual technical part of the interview, then, they will assess and, sum up all of the whatever they have notes they have made throughout the interview process, and then they can ask you for reference checks. Now, keep that in mind. Whenever you have that reference check information, the chances of being hired is looming around the corner. So it's a sign of good news, right? It's a sign of good news. So whenever you have that reference check information via your email, just pipe low, don't rejoice yet, okay? But it's a good sign that something is coming. Now, after that reference check, they're going to reach out to your previous employer or even your current employer if you are currently employed. Basically, they're going to review what you have on your resume to kind of see if they align. They're going to review to find out what your current employer has to say based on your behavior, your performance, to really kind of review and do some sort of background check, right? As soon as that background check and reference checks are all completed, then they're going to like, okay, should we go ahead, like go or no go? Most of the times, if you have good reference check, you're going to get that offer letter. As soon as you have that reference check completed, the recruiter or the hiring manager will reach out to you to give you the verbal offer. The verbal offer could be like some sort of consent to kind of give you a high level, salary. They are budgeted for that. This is where you have to negotiate the salary, okay? Do not accept a job offer without negotiating the salary. People jump into this, and at some point they regret it. Do not accept the job offer when you are not comfortable with the salary, negotiate. I have made a video on how to negotiate salary for a Scrum Master. Okay, just for re-emphasize, do your research about the company. Ask about what is the basic salary rate. When they tell you about XYZ amount, don't just accept it right away. Ask some sort of questions and negotiate. Ask if this is negotiable or if this is like definite. Then you can be able to wiggle things around. As soon as you have accepted, gone through this activity and you have accepted the verbal offer, then they are going to send you the written offer. Do not start working when you have not received the written offer and signed. Do not start working until you have received the written offer and have signed. And before you sign, please take time to read through the document. Do not sign until you have taken time to read through the document line by line. If you have a lawyer, you can be able to work with your lawyer to read the terms and conditions. If you're not comfortable, do not sign. When you sign that contract, it is contractual agreement. So if you break it, definitely remember that these guys have their own legal team, right? So they are trying as much as they can to protect their own selves. So you also should also protect your own self. It is not, and it is not a favor. You are not doing them a favor. It is a business. In business, you need to be able to control your emotions, okay? So as soon as you accept that offer, you have your start date, you have if it is a contract, they're going to specify the end date, definitely. The job offer has its own details, start dates, if you're going to be a full-time permanent staff or not, the salary rates and all that things. So as soon as the start date is specified, then you are ready to get started, okay? On the day of your first start date is when you start your onboarding, okay? You meet with your hiring manager and then your supervisor, and then you start some sort of, training and onboarding, learning about the organization culture, about the product, about the team, about whatever it is. And welcome, congratulations. Now you have that job offer, okay? So if this is your first time of kind of understanding the process, and if you have any question, by all means, please let me know in the comment section and I'll try as much as I can to respond to you. And if you have gone through the interview process, do you think I missed any of the steps? If you do think I do miss any of the steps, please do comment in the comment section and let us talk about it. Thank you so much for spending these few minutes with me. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I hope I will see you again next time. In the meantime, I hope you stay well. Bye for now.